Hello, AP students at North Central High School. My name is Mr. Andrew Hodson. I'm the AP testing coordinator at North Central, here to give you some quick updates, things you need to know going into the May AP testing season. First of all, this is going to be a very brief overview. I've already shared with you via your teachers the 52-page AP testing guide, as well as a brief 2-page summary of that guide. And we really strongly recommend that you take a look at those documents in detail. All right, in this video, we'll talk about what you should do before your exam, how the exams themselves will work, what will happen once you've completed your exam, and how to cancel and or get a refund if that applies to you. First of all, before the exam, it's really important to get ready. In order to do that, we recommend that you check in on your College Board account via AP Central. On this account, you're going to want to make sure that your name, the school ID, your email address, all of that important information is updated correctly. Next, you also want to make sure that you have access to your email, that you can actually get in, you know your username and your password, and you're able to get in successfully, because that is how AP will send you your e-ticket for the exam. You also will need to make sure that you have an updated version of your browser. Chrome is recommended, but Safari and Firefox will work as well. Internet Explorer will not work, and so you want to make sure you have an updated version of one of those three. You'll need to remove the Grammarly plugin. If you've installed that on your browser, then the AP test will not work, so you'll need to make sure that you have removed that. Next, you need to make sure that you print a checklist from the website listed here if you're interested, and that will give you everything that you need to have prepared for you when it comes time for the exam day. Next, you should think about where you're going to test. You'll need to find a spot in your house that's quiet, calm, and peaceful and will allow you to concentrate and focus. We know that for some of us, that's going to be easier than others. So make sure that you're talking with the people in your family or the people that you're living with so that they understand what it is that you're doing, when it is that you're going to be testing, and they can try and help you set up the best environment possible. All right. Also think about what's going on in your house at that time. And if you have limited internet bandwidth, for example, that might be a good time for other people in your house to avoid things like streaming large amounts of video or playing online video games. On May 4th and May 11th, you're going to have access to some important things. On May 4th, you're going to have the ability, beginning on May 4th and continuing on, to test your tech. So you can log on to this website listed here and make sure that your phone or your tablet or your laptop is compatible with the AP test. You can also practice submissions to see what that process will be like. And beginning on May 11th, you can download apps that you'll need if you're doing a world language or a music theory course. Again, world language and music theory will need a special app. There are directions on that in the guide. E-tickets will be sent to you 2 days before your exam. That'll be done via your email that you have on College Board's profile. So you'll want to make sure that that works. Also, you can find these e-tickets 2 days early in your College Board account. So again, if for some reason you're struggling with the email, you can get them via your College Board account. Do not share your code. If you share that code with another student and they log on using your code, then that will obviously be a problem. On the day of the exam itself, you're going to want to make sure that you know exactly when that exam is supposed to start. All exam times are listed in Eastern Standard Time. That is the time for Indianapolis. So if you live here in Indianapolis, then you just go with the time that's reported. However, if you're taking this test from somewhere else in the world, because maybe you've had to travel as a result of the pandemic, then you're going to need to make that adjustment in time. Talk with your family or your teachers if you're struggling with that conversion. Make sure you know when exactly to log on. You can log on 30 minutes early before the exam to complete a security check, and we highly recommend that you log in that 30 minutes early to get yourself ready to go. You can also see the timing breakdown on pages 35 through 37 of the guidebook. But basically, you'll have majority of the time to complete the test, answer the questions, and then you'll have 5 minutes to submit your answers. If you're in history or English, a social studies or an English course, you'll just have one question. If you're in any other subject, you'll have 2 questions. Each answer is going to get its own document. So again, if you're in English or social studies, that'll just be one document you're submitting. If you're in any of the other subjects, you'll actually have two separate documents, one for question 1 and one for question 2. Each question will be broken down into parts like A, B, and C, and you should label those parts in your answer so that the assessor can follow along. You are allowed to print and annotate the questions if you'd like. That is not necessary, but digital annotation software will not work during the test. We also really recommend that you name the documents something that's going to be easy and obvious for you to find when it comes time to submit. For example, like AP Biology Answer 1 or AP Biology Answer 2. That way, when it comes time to submit, you can find them in your Google Drive or on your hard drive really easily. Note that you do not need to use a word processor, something that you type digitally. You can handwrite, and in fact, it may be easier for some of the exams, like in math and science, to in fact use written paper. If you do, that's fine. You're going to want to put images, take pictures with your phone and upload images. You'll be able to upload at most 5 documents for each of the questions, and that goes whether it's handwritten or typed. There'll be a 5-page limit, so just bear that in mind. Also, at the top of each page, whether you type or handwrite, you're going to want to put your AP ID and your initials. Also, for the math science courses, there is a document available on the website below there with reference sheets, especially for math and science. If you're a student with accommodations, don't worry, you're covered. Read page 17 of the test guide carefully. If you see any concerns or you anticipate any problems with what you see there, please reach out to me and we'll do what we can to try and make the situation better and the testing environment as good as it can be for you. What are the rules for the test? Well, you can use anything that you've gotten or done for class. So class notes, textbooks, study guides, practice exams. You can even use calculators where allowed. What we don't want you to use are things like real-time collaboration. We do not want you texting back and forth with friends while the exam is going on and discussing the answers. We also don't want you to use sources from the internet. AP is going to be using very aggressive academic honesty software that's going to be really hunting for issues, and so we would hate for you to accidentally get something, or on purpose, get something from the internet that they find with their security screening that flags your exam and causes issues for you down the road. When you're finished with your exam, you're going to upload those documents and submit them. Again, those can be digital word processed documents like the Microsoft Word or Google Doc, or they can be pictures of written pages. After you click submit, you're going to want to wait for a confirmation screen that will appear. And if you don't get a confirmation screen, that could be an example of a technical issue that we should prepare you for. If you have an issue or a problem while you are working on your AP exam that is like a small temporary issue, let's say the Wi-Fi goes down for a minute or two, well, that's not that big a deal, perhaps, and you can just continue on with the exam once the Wi-Fi comes back. However, if you experience a larger problem, like for example, your internet crashes and it's down all day, or there's a power outage, or maybe, the fire alarm in your house or apartment goes off and you have to leave the premises for a while. If it's something like that, you're allowed to request a makeup at the address that you see below, okay? What won't count for a request for makeup is something that you do that you have control over. For example, if you don't wake up in time and you miss the exam, or you forget to submit the document before the time is up, those will not be reasons for a makeup. The reasons for makeups are for things that you cannot control. All right, after the exam, you're going to automatically be enrolled for a June date if you fail to take the May exam. So if for some reason you are unable to take the May exam, then you will be automatically enrolled in the late testing June dates. If you do not take the June date, then AP will consider that exam canceled. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. Your teachers are going to be able to see your responses, and the reason for that is twofold. First, it's part of the academic honesty check Your teachers will be able to see if your answer matches the answer of another student. Like, for example, if you were both collaborating on a Google Doc and then you both decided to submit those as your own work, your teacher will see that. But more importantly, the teachers are going to get your responses because they can advocate for you. Since you're only going to be graded on 1 or 2 questions, it is possible that though your response to those questions might not represent your work that you've done in that course over the entirety of its year or semester. Your teachers will be there to advocate for you if you get a 1 or a 2 on the test, but they feel like your work warranted more, they can request a rescore for you. As far as we know, colleges are accepting AP credits per usual, although that varies by institution. And so you'll want to reach out to the college or universities that you're interested in or have been accepted to find out their specific policy if you haven't already. The scores should be available to you on or around July 15th. All right, how to cancel exams. Canceling exams is very simple. You just ignore the invitation to take them. So if you ignore your May invitation and you ignore your June invitation, then AP will consider that exam canceled. I will then get a list of all of the students that didn't take either the May or the June exam, and I will begin issuing refunds sometime in late June. And again, I apologize for the delay in that refund, but that is unfortunately just the way it's going to have to go. All right, as I said again, this was a very quick overview of that 52-page test guide document. I strongly recommend that all AP students and faculty, for that matter, take their time to look at that in detail. And again, if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to email me directly at the address shown on the screen. All right, thanks again, North Central. All the best. I wish you continued health and safety.